Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and today I'm going to tell you a Father's Day story of my own. This is something that made quite the impression on me when I was growing up, to this day even. Now we look back and we laugh about it, but when it happened, it made a major impact on me. For those of you that don't know, there is a famous restaurant, and it is located on Panama City Beach, Panama City, Florida, and it's called Captain Anderson's. For those of us in the southeastern United States, just about everyone at some point in their life goes and eats seafood at Captain Anderson's. I will probably eat seafood there this summer when I go down there at some point. But they also have a marina, and this is where many of the fishing boats go out, people that book deep sea fishing charters and this type of thing. Well, when I was about 13 or 14 at the time, we lived in Cleveland, Tennessee, and my father was a textile salesman at the time. And he had some of his customers that he was going to take on a deep sea fishing trip, and he decided that I could go along. So we go down and we go out of Captain Anderson's, and the weather was supposed to be bad. And so because he had his customers with him, he felt like he needed to follow through, and the captain said, it's going to be rough out there, but we can deal with it, that kind of thing. So this was my first deep sea fishing adventure. Well, for those of you that are familiar with going out on the ocean in boats, when the sea is rough especially, but really just as a general rule, when you get on these boats and you start smelling those diesel fumes and all that, that's bad enough. But if the seas are rough and you go down into the belly of one of these boats, it can make you seasick really, really quick. And anyone who's ever been seasick knows that they say that being seasick is the worst kind of sickness that you can possibly have for the time that you have it. And it will not go away once you get it until you have your feet on the ground, and then it will immediately go away. Well, on this particular trip, the seas got really rough. This was my first experience being out there deep sea fishing. I was thinking how great it would be to catch all these huge fish, and it was. But with the seas rough, it can really scar you, and it scarred me. So on this particular time, my father, who is trying to help out and make sure his customers are happy and the deckhands are doing their thing, well, at some point, my father decides that he's going to go down into the belly of the boat to get a towel or something. And when he does, he got seasick like you can't imagine, and he never came back out of that. Well, being a kid, I didn't know either. I went down to check on him. Somehow, some way, I did not get seasick. But while I was checking on, he was throwing up and doing all that. And while I was down there seeing how he was, one of those, I don't know what you call them, but when you're in the belly of a boat out here, sometimes on the front, they have like a little window that you can pull up and open up, I guess, to get air down in there while the boat's going. Well, nobody realized it, but that window was up. And so I'm looking at my dad. He's laying on a couch, and he is literally sicker than I've ever seen him before. And the boat is going down below the waves and then up to the top. And as I recall, it was like 10-foot waves, which is massive, I believe, in the scheme when you're out in the ocean. And that means your boat will be down and the waves are all around you, taller than the boat, and then you go up top. Well, sometimes when the boat dips, the water's coming over the boat. And so I remember it like it was yesterday, my father laying on that couch, and all of a sudden the waves came over the boat, and it poured into that window right all over his face. And at the time, I was scared, and at the time, it really scared me. But as time has passed, of course, it has become a funny story, and occasionally I make fun of him for the time that he had all that water pour in on his face. But the second that he got to land that day, he said he will never go deep sea fishing again, and it made an impression on me. I will do it, but I don't like to do it. I like to go out and do bay fishing, but going out into the ocean, I learned from that how small and insignificant we are as human beings. That ocean is massive. Now, I wanted to mention one other thing. For those of you that have never been, if you go to Panama City, which is one of the more famous beach destinations in the United States, Panama City all the way down the Gulf Coast has some of the nicest beaches you'll ever go to if you haven't been. Now, I'll show you something that many of you may have seen even if you haven't ever been. If you remember the movie The Truman Show, when I was growing up, this was filmed in a location called Seaside, Florida. Seaside, Florida is down west from Panama City Beach, but I grew up going to those beaches all along there. And when we were young, we would go down to Seaside for the weekend or go down 2 or 3 times during the summer. Just a really beautiful place. If you've never been down to that part of the United States, you should do it. After they filmed The Truman Show, I used to hear stories that like Jack Nicholson had bought a place in Seaside. There's a lot of famous people that you'll see down in that area occasionally when you visit. Okay, sorry. It's Father's Day. I took 6 minutes and told you a story. Sorry. Okay. Bitcoin, the FOMO is beginning, folks. This is today. Bitcoin hits year-to-date highs as Litecoin soars. Here's why. And then, anyway, I just wanted to show you this coming from Forbes, who put out all kinds of negativity during the bear market, just to illustrate to you that now everything's great. Now that their Wall Street buddies and everybody's coming in, now they're going to paint a totally different picture for you all. And so this is the beginning of it. Okay, let me get rid of a couple of these windows, and so we can move along here. All right. And next, yesterday I gave a shout out to Crypto Greg Mara, Irish XRP, because they're doing an Ireland meetup. And he thanked me for mentioning him, and he told me if I come to make sure I bring my buckets from my story yesterday. And I replied to him, I'm coming back to Ireland one day. May not make this one, but I love your country and your people. My family is from over that way. There are some bad tempers in the family. Is that Irish? And a lot of these guys says, oh, well, no, that's probably Italian. But yeah, my family is from over that way, and woo, we do have some tempers that can once they're hit, they can blast off. And I'm one of them. But it takes a lot. I'm normally like this. If I get leaned on and leaned on and leaned on and leaned on, at some point I can blow, but it doesn't happen often, luckily. Next. Gemini, at Gemini. These guys were on, I haven't watched it yet, but I recorded it, CBS Sunday Morning, from their bullish approach to Bitcoin and what informed their approach to building Gemini. Great segment. I'm about to watch it myself. Bitcoin billionaires. Anyway, that's the segment. You need to go and watch that. And then we need to go into this tweet right here and say win XRP, which is what I'll do here in a second. Next, I got this from Andrel King, at Andrel_King. He asked me if I had heard about this guy, because this guy said he started a channel because he listened to me. And this is ironic, and I'll tell you why. The crypto attorney is we've been needing an attorney in this space, in the XRP community. I am glad this happened. I'm glad this guy said I inspired him, and I appreciate it. I'm glad that he's here, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about him. Crypto Meets Law. Go give him a follow, and then here is his channel. He's the crypto attorney. Now, I'll tell you something interesting about this. I listened to the very first part of this, and he says he's an attorney in Washington, D.C., and he's on the Hill all the time in Washington, D.C. What's fascinating about this is that I told my wife, really 2 days ago, I told my wife that in my next life, I want to live in Washington, D.C., and just be around all of that, so that around the Hill and be able to go have a beer in a bar and listen to what's going on in D.C. and all of the goings on and the politics of it. To me, that would be fascinating. I love the town. I love walking around and seeing all the history. The United States does not have the kind of history that many countries are. I mean, we're a much younger country. So, but in DC, that's a place where you feel like you're around a lot of history that we do have. And so, to me, it's fascinating. And so, I'm jealous that the crypto attorney, I'm going to have to go see the crypto attorney, because I would love for him to take me onto Capitol Hill and to go and see some of that, because that is one of the things that I'm really interested in, is just the history of it and everything going on. And I would love to go and meet one or two of the people up there, and maybe we could do that having in conjunction with the Token Taxonomy Act. Maybe I could go meet Warren Davidson. That would be awesome. So shout out right back to you. For those of you that don't follow him, I have a gut feeling this is going to be a definite follow. He's coming from the legal angle of all this. In this video, this was his first one, Token Taxonomy Act update. This guy could become a really good source. I've already subscribed, and I think you should too. The Crypto Attorney, and he just started, so let's go give him some subscribes and follows. Next, XRP Veteran, @XRP_veteran sent me this. This is from Credible Crypto. Now, I checked this. This guy's got 41,000 followers. He says he's a crypto trader, uranium sector investor. That's wild. Detailed analysis to back up all my calls. Tweets are my opinions, not financial advice. I just thought what he was saying was coming from a different angle and interesting enough to show you. He says, extraordinarily well with bottoming process we are seeing on XRP at this time. Its prior cycle also took it 23 times off its lows. And just like BTC, we in 2014 to 2015, we're seeing a rounded bottom with nearly a year of consolidation. After, if XRP follows BTC, its next run could be over 100 times its lows of 23 cents, with a multiple equivalent to what BTC did on its last run to 20K. This puts XRP at around $28, which is a very reasonable expectation in my opinion. Remember, the longer consolidation, the greater the expansion. Now, folks, don't jump on me about the $28. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that following his logic. I've been in this space for a while now, and what he's saying makes a lot of sense about how this market has behaved in the past, and that, learn from history, okay? And so, but to me, that number, in the scheme of things, I think that's easily doable. I personally believe that. XRP Dave @theDavey92 sent me this. Now, this is important, folks. Remember, I showed you yesterday that Asheesh Birla had written a Medium, blog post about how Facebook could benefit from getting in the digital asset space. I read that to you yesterday. Okay? Asheesh Birla comes out yesterday. Remember, all these people, Facebook could be an XRP killer and all that. Asheesh Birla felt the need to come out and tweet this. This week, do not listen to Peter Schiff for advice on payments Libra, and do not listen to Jessica Biel for advice on medical vaccinations. But he's tweeting this out. This is a Peter Schiff tweet where he's saying Facebook's new cryptocurrency Libra is bad news for Bitcoin. He's basically coming out and saying Peter Schiff doesn't know what he's talking about. And I believe the reason he's saying it is because what we were talking about yesterday. The Facebook coin, this is going to bring all of those people who made fun of you, all of those people who have to be told that the water's warm and now it's safe to come in, all of those people, those are the people in life that don't make the big money. And for that reason, because you were willing to be made fun of, and you were willing to make a decision to buy into XRP or digital assets when everybody told you it was stupid, and when they laughed at you, and when they told you that was not smart, that's when the money's made, is when you're that person who is willing to do things because you've done the research, you've gone with your gut after using your common sense and your intellect and your experiences combined with doing your research, and you take the plunge because it feels right after doing those things, that you did it and I did it. And because of that, we're in an awesome place right now, let me tell you. And what he's saying right here is, he says, these Peter Schiff, they don't know what they're talking about. And in my opinion, he's saying right here, No, this whole digital asset space, this is the thing that's going to benefit it all. And how could it not? Because it's not like I said yesterday, it's not like Facebook is going to create, what good would it be for Facebook to create a digital asset and then lock down the Facebook app and it can't move around to any other digital assets? That would make absolutely no sense. Facebook is creating a huge corporate garden for us to bridge to other crypto assets, and that is how this is going to go down. Mark my words. Now let's look at the market real quick for today. I'm going to refresh this, and if you look at this, folks, we are at 288 billion, and that, I believe, is the highest we've been in total market cap in the last 6 months, or in the last year, really, I think. Highest. Let's click on it and see if it says anything about that. I can't remember if they show that. This is the total market capitalization, and let's look if this chart will load. It's taking its precious time, but if this chart will load, total market capitalization year to date. Let's see where we're at. It looks like let's see. The numbers don't look right there. Anyway, I know for a fact, I don't think we've crossed 290 billion yet, and we're at 188. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. We're at 288 billion, and I don't think we've crossed 290 billion since the bull run of 2017. I don't believe, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure. I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And tell your friends and family that the digital asset investor does not like deep sea fishing. I don't trust the ocean. Thank you for listening.